Hey, let's crank this thing over. This is the Mid-Age Gamer Report for the week ending June 1st, 2012. So hey, the biggest news of the week? It's from Battlefield Land, with the announcement of yet another huge patch coming. It's scheduled to be released over 2 days from June 4th to June 5th. Official schedule is for PC and Xbox 360 worldwide June 4th. PlayStation 3 in Japan and Asia June 5th. PlayStation 3 in all other regions, June 4th. So it looks like June 4th and June 5th is when to wait to be annoyed. I don't know. Specifics of the patch, or the specific size of the patch, I should say, sorry, is unknown, but it's likely to be at least as large as the 1 gigabyte March patch that we had to suffer through. It's also likely that some changes were made to allow for the close quarters expansion pack that's coming up. The BF3 development team released an announcement prefaced with the following, and I quote, and somewhat paraphrase. We are happy to present the contents of our next Battlefield 3 game update. This is a big one, rolling out June 4th and 5th, including a solution to the M26 Dart issue, reduced suppression, and the introduction of colorblind support on console. Okay, so I guess older people are starting to play games more. Okay. By the way, that wasn't part of the quote. Anyway, I guess there's a number of tweaks to weapons, gameplay, and equipment in this patch, reportedly taken from player suggestion, or more like player annoyance. I don't know. We all know I have some issues with BF3, but I still enjoy playing it. Now, if they just start announcing their maintenance cycles instead of dumping you out in the middle of a game. You know, no less than 3 times in the past 2 weeks, BF3 has gone offline, leaving you with nothing on your battle log screen except a message saying, "Update in progress. Check back soon, soldier." I understand that updates need to happen, but EA has a bad habit of doing them unannounced. These impromptu maintenance periods were unannounced and left many players dumbfounded when the game dumped out unexpectedly. You know, I've seen this behavior before with EA properties specifically. EA has a German development house, Phenomic, and they're the ones behind the Lord of Ultima play for free title. That it's basically a web-based game, kind of like the Battlefield play for free. Well, Phenomic had this habit during the early launch, and of course during the beta, but during the early launch of Lord of Ultima, they would frequently just shut down the servers, do some type of maintenance, not let you have any idea of when the servers were coming back. Sometimes it could be days, and it got to be real annoying. Now, mind you, it's a free game, but you can pay for upgrades and things like that, but still, it's a free game, so I can tolerate it there. You know, I mean, I can understand limited notification and, you know, nothing more than maybe a posting on their Facebook wall, but that would be about it. That's all they do, and that's all we got, and it was really annoying. I can understand that, though. It was a free game. You have to give something. But in a paid title, with a title that's you know, listed for $60 and DLC pack for 15 a pop, plus you have the shortcut kits, you know, yeah, you know, if you got people paying all this money, investing all this time, not to mention the people who are renting servers from you, you know, you owe it to those people to give a little more warning if you're going to pull the rug out from under them unexpectedly. Well, again, I guess it wouldn't be unexpected then, would it? Whatever. I digress. Perhaps we can take consolation in the fact that BF3 is still on sale for $39.99 on Origin. I've got some links at the end of the page on the printed version of this you can go to, and I'll also have them on the YouTube site that this will appear on. So, oh, and in other EA news, Crysis 2. Remember Crysis 2? Remember that overly hyped and under-delivering DirectX 9 whatever? Well, The Crysis 2 Maximum Edition is on sale as well for $39.99 on Origin. What this little package appears to be is basically a discount version of Crysis 2, just like you got a discount version of BF3, but with some DLC and some weapon upgrades and other little perks here and there. You know, $39.99. If you haven't bought the game and you had any kind of interest, maybe you want to look into it. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of the limited edition BF3 release, when you could get BF3 like 20 bucks cheaper than release and get the first DLC expansion pack for free, the Back to Karkin expansion pack. It kind of reminds me of that. So, yeah, enough about Origin. I already did another video blog this week about Origin anyway. So, let's look at Steam. And in Steam news, Skyrim is still overpriced at $59.99. But it seems the biggest hype surrounds that May 1st announcement and gameplay trailer of the add-on, the new add-on, Dawnguard. Wow. Dawnguard is basically a vampire-themed expansion. How creative. Vampires. I suppose the next expansion will be called Moondoggy and focus on werewolves. Whatever. PC Mag's report on the Dawnguard add-on is in a link at the end of this article as well. So, and also will be on the YouTube page you can go to if you're really that interested. Other news coming from Steam: Modern Warfare 3 DLC Collection 1's available for $14.99. Again, on Steam. It contains all the DLC content that's been released from January till March. There's also a Collection 2. It's available, but it's not on Steam. The only place I found it was on Activision's Modern Warfare 3 site. And again, it was only talking about Xbox and PS3. I don't know what they're doing for PC. I know the content Collection 1 is definitely has availability for PC on Steam. So if you're interested. Well, okay. You got to understand these collections are part of a regular DLC content release cycle for Modern Warfare 3. And most of the collections focus on new multiplayer maps with some Spec Ops missions. I'm a fan of the Spec Ops missions. I'm not a big fan of the multiplayer. You know, Spec Ops is interesting, but as Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer is about a decade out of date compared to anything else, it's a waste of time and money in my view, so I likely won't be bothering with it. But, you know, to each his own. I just say caveat emptor. You know, only because I've been burned by Call of Duty DLC before, though, so, yeah, okay. On the fringes of Steam, and I call it fringes because these are more enthusiasts, you know, games like, say, Killing Floor and Team Fortress 2, that kind of thing, where there's more of a cult following than a, you know, a large, popular, you know, big money title. Well, speaking of Killing Floor, it seems the zombie horror favorite has received a lot of attention lately. A few days ago, I saw a half-gig download come up for it, and that's pretty large for a game that, you know, with a full install, with everything up to this point with updates and patches, is less than 4 gig on your hard drive. So, yeah, that's a pretty big update. It's likely it has something to do with an upcoming event, as Killing Floor doesn't need many fixes, and the game is simple enough and mature enough to not need updates to the core game files themselves. So, on the hardware side, still kind of a snooze fest. You know, we all pretty much know what's out there, what we're salivating over, and you know, we're still suffering over availability in the channel for the NVIDIA goodies we all really want. Apparently, the GTX 670 availability is improving, as is the GTX 680. Although availability of the 680 is a relative statement. Where there was 0, there might be 2, and then there's 0 again. So, you know. But the 670 is definitely having a little better appearance in the channel. As I was watching This Week in Computer Hardware this week, it's on the Twit Network. Also, some mention in the PC Per podcast this week. I guess there's still some problems with the 28 nanometer process, which is affecting the supply of NVIDIA's new Enthusiast GPU. AMD has had a better channel presence due to its earlier entry into the 28 nanometer process market, but it appears that the higher-end 7900 series cards are experiencing issues with yields as well, so there's some, lackluster availability at the very, very top end, but that's not where most of the buying public is going to be for these newer enthusiast cards. With the Performance Crown currently belonging to NVIDIA, AMD is trying to sweeten the deal on their 7900 series cards by offering games like Dirt Showdown, among other games, usually 2 other titles with the cards. If you could stand a little more power draw, a little more heat, and a little less performance than Team Green's offering, this may make your mind up if you're undecided. So that's about it. Nothing more. Have a good week, and I'm out.